Magic. We're live.
Whoa. Magic, whoa.
Magic.
Fede, you're
Magic.
amazing every time. Don't say that to you. Take it
Magic.
easy. You
Magic.
made it.
Magic. Magic.
Ma-
Happy
Magic Fede.
Wednesday.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Fanta Fede.
Fanta Fede. Fanta
That's
Magic
good.
Fede. Fanta Fede.
Fantastic Fede. Good.
Just do it rough then. I just have the Nike cup.
And oh, by the way, I mean, I'm not even a huge Fanta drinker, but I think they recently did a rebranding, right? Of the
I'm not
new of the
sure.
logo. I'm pretty sure, yeah, they did. They did a major, yeah, I'll check it out. But yes, again, then this is also vintage, so it's good, even better. Good. Anyway, we're not
That's
talking
it.
about orange today, and we're definitely not talking about Fanta, or Coke or whatever that is. What what's I forgot. What's the topic today, Rafa?
Fede, let's say that sometimes someone needs to remember that there's some there are aspects like sustainability in design that are important, right? It's not just about pixels, it's not just about next update, next improvement, next battery, next life cycle, next whatsoever, next iPhone, whatever. But
Hmm.
we're here to discuss about how designers can contribute to a greener future, let's say, where it's not just about the environment or less plastic. 100% sure. I think on a broader sense, we can connect this with the accessibility topic. I know that those are two huge words, Fede,
Hmm.
but we will try to keep it sweet and short and try to break down some myths related to aesthetics, functionality, better processes, and yeah. So the topic of today is just like driving designers to be more green for a sustainable future. Yeah, I'm idealistic by definition, you know that, and I don't want to, to just talk about these things from a curiosity perspective. It's more like really things that we can practically do and we can practically share from our examples that can help the planet. Because yes, the planet needs that. So
That's very true. That's very true. I think we don't always think with accessibility in mind, I would probably say even less of the time we think with sustainability in mind. So if we're already
mm,
guilty of not thinking how to design for belonging, there was a old episode, by the way, of in our I think it was our first season. Then we
yes.
failed miserably in thinking about sustainability. So absolutely, that's a really good point.
Hmm.
In
Hmm.
So let's see, we grab a couple of a few questions, right? In our description here, and also let me go and check quickly. I just want to figure it out if like okay, so
Sure.
it's still like the live is still going on. I just see some nuances here in on our fantastic tool that doesn't tell me that we're live, so that's weird, but it's okay. We'll keep going. Yes,
Yeah,
we
let's
are
go.
we're live. Uh, so the first question that we had in here was how can designers incorporate sustainability principles into their work? How
Mm.
can they?
I'm okay. So let me take a bit, take kind of a step back here, because this
Hmm.
is a conversation. I would say hello to Flo if he's hearing us. Flo is one of my friend here in Lisbon, and he's a physical product designer. And
Hmm.
when we talk about with friends, I said to the crowd, "Oh, I'm the fake one. He's the real one. I'm in the digital world, but he's doing the real product design." And with this that in mind, about sustainability principles, I would love to mention that uh, even downloading apps is easy, but when we buy, let's try to have a better approach on things that we buy or the things that resonate with us. It's the same with clothes, I guess. It's just like I'm strongly believe that less is better, less is more for sure, Steve. It's true,
Hmm.
but less is better for you too. So one of my main principles nowadays, I don't know if that's really sustainable or not, but it helps me to connect with the world in a bigger sense about the objects that I have, the apps that I download, the cookies that I fulfill. It's really about um, carefully choose something, and if it's not a yes, it's a no. That's something I really like about this.
That's true.
Think about that. I just leave it as it is. If it's not a yes, I need it. Most likely it's a no. Do you need the other sale T-shirt? Do you need this other thing? Do you need a pack of 100 blah blah things? Or maybe you go for something that is yes, it's more expensive, but big corp companies or something more related to um, uh, how they treat employees or the chain of suppliers. I would love to talk about coffee, but I'm not pointing this out. But there's a world beyond the coffee sustainability on the specialty coffee, and yeah, that's another topic, but is everywhere, I guess. What about you, Fed?
Well,
What do
this
you
is
think
more.
about the?
Well, I am definitely not in any way, shape, or form a product designer, nor I am an industrial designer, right? So I've never in my life think maybe once or two influenced like a product that was not all purely digital or digital and physical, right? So
Mm,
I'm not big on. I know that a lot of the implications of sustainability are within the product itself, but the the few things that I know about sustainability in the digital space are mostly around two things. And one is related to minimizing the use of these energy intensive functions that you might have in website and all the rest, like apps and all the rest. So whenever you
mm,
have you rely a lot of on videos, you rely a lot of interaction. Uh, Basically, what you're doing is that you're making the your computer burn more energy. So when you think with
mm,
sustainability in mind, like some of the websites are created that are fairly minimal in order, and even they don't, again, they don't have video, like very spare, very simple, no animation, because they don't want to, again, increase the amount of energy that your Mac, your iPhone actually is using, right? And the other one that I've heard about, it's about optimizing those, again, even the website performance. So we know that even when the performance of the website are lowering, you're also lowering the carbon footprint
mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm.
you have related to the use of the device, et cetera, et cetera. So the two are connected, right? It's all about
Yeah.
spending less energy. And it's interesting to say that even when you're thinking, well, but I'm using a phone or whatever, but that's true. Like everything has a carbon footprint. Because
Mm,
even when you think about it, and you think about I mean, even for us as a company like Meta, and we're really into reducing the carbon footprint, you would say, but how do you do it? I mean, Instagram is not like a real physical product, but the reality is that we have servers, right? We have data
mm-hmm,
warehouse. We have a lot of
mm-hmm,
places where like there are like a huge use of computation. So reducing the
mm-hmm.
amount of that one is actually reducing the impact that we have on nature.
Right. Yes. No. That's because I will debunk another myth, and this is another of my hot take. And please interrupt me if you think like if it's quite confusing. But this is something that I'm picking up right now. What you shared is super interesting because companies by themselves they need to take care on their own about the sustainability practices. It's not just about think about Uber now. Uber as a
Mhm.
company, they're offering green rides, and this is sustainable by design, right? But it's about how the company works out. So it's most likely, oh yeah, Instagram, but Instagram is how does it resonate with sustainability. And the point that you're mentioning is super interesting. So it's just like the company on the inside, the core values, and then how they put them into the world that I think is interesting. And those applications are endless, from physical to digital to phygital, we called last time. So it's very interconnected. As human beings, we're really whenever you're doing, we're really consuming something, and we most likely can reduce the consumption of something, and not because just because we have to, but maybe is really is even better. Yeah, I like it. Thank you for sharing, Fede.
Okay.
Especially about Meta. Yeah, that was
What do you,
interesting.
the other question here we have about example of like sustainable design practice that have been used in the industry.
Mm,
And
I'm
Mhm.
no, no. I'm just thinking about the books that I bought from Patagonia. Like I really recommend the three books from. There's a trilogy kind of. It's not like a series of book, but from Patagonia, I learned a lot about sustainable clothes and doing the right thing for the planet. And that was my. Sorry if I interrupted. It's something that really stood out to me. I was in Milan back in those days, so it was really something.
Well, they're doing great thing for the environment, right? Like Patagonia, I think they're really strong on it. Yeah, the and again here it can be hard in digital, but like the one thing that I can relate to is the building of reusable assets. So there is
Mm,
it's almost like it gets more sustainable whenever you're creating something that you can reuse into your next iteration, right? And so the that's a concept that you can apply to digital 100%. And if you start thinking you wanted to do it because at scale you always want to have reusable components. Like I do something and then I can. It's like a design system, right? To some extent. But while a design system is also used to regulate and just give governance of like giving a consistency, right, in the way that you design. So it's more, I think it's more of a tool of governance rather than tool of sustainability, a design system. The idea is when you build a tool or a product, how many times can you repurpose it to do something else, right? How can you build a bot that can speak to different use cases? How can you build an interface, a guide, an assistant that then can be repurposed for different kind of user, right, or something, anything like that. So that is one of the concept that like I've been following, and I mean it's a win-win because again, by having reusable components, you can be quicker in the things that you do, and you have like a less impact on the environment for the points we made above about uh, all the carbon footprint and the need for new power, new energy, because you already coded it, so you got it.
that's super interesting. We will have the design system conversation on top of sustainability and practices on another time. But let me just jump on that because I made a. I was quite, as you know, I was quite obsessed, and I'm still quite into design systems a lot. And I would say that the sustainability effort or principle is something that definitely should be added into the guidelines. I'm not sure about generally speaking, how it's gonna be nested, but reusability is definitely one of the biggest topic and considerations on top of the advantage of a design system. Time to market, usability, scalability, performance improvements, and this is really connected to accessibility and guidelines. Like when you add descriptions, maybe it's better from a sustainable standpoint for users and employees in general when they could. But yeah, we'll chat more about that at another time for design systems. I don't want to take it that long.
They definitely they have to be accessible and they can also be sustainable. So it's an interesting perspective. I really love like this like third question. We're doing a really good job in finding very tough question for us to answer. So great job. Uh,
Sure,
but
of
we
course.
want to discuss how can designers balance the aesthetics, the
Uh-huh.
functionality, and sustainability in projects.
Mm.
Easy, right? Super easy.
Uh, I would say give time to the creative to do that thing and reduce the barriers from ideation to production, prototyping, talking about physical, but this is applied to the digital too. So I would say for me, the all three aspects, aesthetics, functionality, and sustainability can be splitted. I have an example with me if you
Mhm.
want to see, and maybe the guys can refer to that.
Okay.
This is really how it feels and not how it looks. Sorry if I'm bringing this over,
Uh-huh.
but
Okay.
like
A,
this
a
is that it's like
boombox.
it's called the radio of the future. Kind of cheers to the teenage engineering guys.
Mhm.
I don't like you really have to feel it, and you really have to understand that this is just like I would just share something. Like there's no on and off button in this way, but the volume that is this kind of knob is the same that when I move circlewards, it's gonna to turn it on.
Hmm.
And this is just like it. You don't need a button for the on and off because you already have the volume that can
Hmm.
serve as a. And
Yeah.
I swear, I learned that after 1 week. I googled it. How I went to the FAQ saying, "How can I turn it on? How can I turn it?" And then I realized, oh
Click
shoot,
and yeah.
but by design, and this is like a stand. You can literally put it somewhere as a stand, and
Hmm.
this is an antenna for the so teenage engineering highly sponsored. No, it's not true. But what I'm saying here is really think about the delightfulness maybe, uh,
Hmm.
and take some time. Don't rush things. Probably like
Hmm.
good things require time. That's my take. I don't know if that's enough.
I will take another angle. And what I was thinking when I was reading those three things, most of the time when we do our Venn diagrams, right, and we put all these things one on the other one, like the infamous Ikigai, right? These are four
Mm.
Venn diagrams, these are three, right? We've been working a lot, even a lot of our graphics have the typical, again, infamous, like three Venn diagram intersecting, and you got the areas, right? And usually the one in the middle is the magic. But for this specific time, I think there is a component of more of a sequence, and I will put uh, like designing for belonging at the same level of sustainability as you have to start by thinking for sustainability, and you have to start by thinking about design for belonging. And again, it was one of our oldest episodes and probably even one of the most successful one, and I'm very happy
Yeah.
about it. But the point is, if you don't start in this scenario, if you don't start with sustainability, it's very difficult to then blend it into functionality, and
Uh-huh.
also you can apply aesthetics at the end, but that will be the last step. So when I think about these three, I think sustainability first, then you go with functionality, and then eventually you apply the aesthetics to it.
Let's
So this
say
to me feels a little bit more like a process than the typical Venn diagram.
mm, accessibility as a canvas, then you have the painting, and then you put the frame as aesthetic. Let's
Yeah,
say
kind of, yeah. But
that's
yes,
that's interesting.
yes, that was just the thought. And let's see, as we're trying to make this like more like quick and dirty here, keeping you on your toes.
Mm.
The last question that we got in here it was, what role do you think design plays in driving the adoption of eco-friendly products and solutions?
Solution. Uh, oh, do you have any
I love
idea
to put
about
you
the
on the
last time
spot, by
that
the
we
way.
met?
Huh?
No, it's fine. But that's why I'm answering you back. You have any idea about the last time that we met? Where have you been about this answer? About this question about sustainability and 3D stuff and VR stuff and greener future, natural ventilation. Uh,
I don't know. I mean, I remember we went to the Apple Park, like to the visitor center here.
yeah, yeah. I think that was stunning from a sustainability perspective of what they've been able to do. Um, and the fact that generally speaking, correct me if I'm wrong, designers can influence consumer behavior by creating products that are really just not just like sustainable by definition, but they're user friendly and appealing thanks to best practices coming from recycling, from the environment and from taking care of what we're consuming. And in a broader sense, I don't know in tech, but in general, like it's really much not business for doing something and receiving something. It's a connection. I'm thinking about even wine production or whatsoever implies the communication with the environment to be more sustainable. You really have to consider nature as a business partner. And I think to circle back at the visit that we did at Apple, it's the nature or the environment is really your business partner that you should feel like as a seat at the table.
That's interesting view. I agree. I totally agree, especially on the changing behavior. I mean, design changes behavior. So, like you already gave an example, right? The fact that you have to turn the knob instead of for creating a button, you have one less item to create. And it's funny because maybe because I'm older than you, but I remember that my old radio, they all used to turn on that way. So I knew that
Wow.
because probably it was like an older design that we got, and then it got brought back again, as you said reusable components, right? That's something that used to be in there and got lost because we wanted to have the
Mm.
LED, and it's sustainable if you have, yeah, you have one less LED, you have one less button that you need to produce. So there is less in the into the logistics, and there is less into the amount of electricity consumption that you got on the radio, right? So uh, yes, design changes behavior. I agree with that. I think also design creates desirable products. So the fact that you want products that are sustainable creates that like a virtuous circle for which, oh yeah, I want something not just because it's beautiful and it's desirable, but also because it has an impact and it's sustainable, right? So more and more we're seeing things like that. Uh, I believe that last but not least, designing for sustainability creates also awareness, right? Because there's never enough
Mm.
awareness. And a lot of people don't even care. They're like, oh, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be on this earth for what? 80, 90, 100 years, right? Maybe. And then who cares? It's a very selfish way of thinking, but a lot of people are selfish. While when you think with sustainability, it's always the kind of mentality when we're saying we didn't inherit this planet from our parents, we're borrowing from our kids. So
Because
it's an
it's a
yeah,
duty that we have to give back, ideally.
give back.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so like creating this awareness and even the discussion that we have, it's good. And I think the design community is very smart and it's really forward thinking. So with all these teams, it's really good. And personally, more on the what I've seen more on the enterprise part is I love that now there are sustainability reports. There are organizations and everything that aims not only to raise awareness, but even to create standards. And you
Mm.
need that because we have standards for everything. Like internet is de facto a standard, right? So the moment in which you have organizations that are creating and even enforcing to some extent some sustainability standard, but I've seen now all the biggest company have sustainability report and they put sustainability as one of their goals. Think about Amazon. I mean, I'm thinking even more practical about Tesla. They're huge on sustainability, right? If you have ever like been through one of their reports, that's pretty amazing. Like the way even the way they design the factories, right? And not only the products, it's next level. The way they design the grid to be sustainable, right? We know about and the concept that now you can get solar panel to charge your cell that can be used to help the grid. So it's always big, right? Sustainability as a network becomes like a very interesting concept. So welcome to not only being aware of sustainability, but the governance of sustainability and the fact that we have standards to respect. I'm looking forward to them because I think it's a good thing.
I think it is, definitely. And we don't need judges, or we need someone who's taking care of respecting those rules for us,
Mhm.
because we should be our own judges, let's say, morally speaking. Uh, and yeah, I totally agree. And to just last thing, and then we wrap up. Ideally, the Tesla's mission is not to produce car, but is to accelerate the greener sustainability, energy, and consumption. So it's interesting that you put it that perspective. And I
Yeah,
think they're more a tech company that sells car, and not a manufactured car company.
I
But
agree.
that's for another time.
No, that's
Um,
that's good because I didn't even know that was their mission. So the fact that
that's our mission.
I
There's
was
no car
aware
involved. There's no
exactly
car involved in Tesla's mission.
the fact that I was involved on what I thought. I mean, my understanding of their mission was that one without even knowing it. I think it's pretty powerful. Cool. Well,
We
good.
will debunk soon the missions myth of other companies. And Elon, if you're hearing us, you know what to do.
Ah, well, interesting. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about that. Great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm
W-
joking, by the way.
No, no. Well, if he wants to. come here and have a discussion about sustainability at Tesla, I would love to, honestly. I think it will be great. So yes, it will be a great lesson for everyone for sure. Awesome. Well, I will leave you to your night, and I will enjoy the rest of my day. And see you next week. Actually,
It's been
no.
great.
Well, yeah, it's a public service announcement. We won't be live next week
Uh-huh.
because I'll be in Austin, so I'll be busy. We'll see if we can do another day, or we'll just see you in 2 weeks. Now we haven't decided yet, but
Yeah.
you'll hear from us on the social.
Thank you, Fede. Thank you,
Awesome.
guys. Be sustainable.
Be sustainable.
Share this tonight or whatever you're talking about in your next meal with someone. Try to be more sustainable. That's just our invite. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Ciao, ciao.